Hi, my name's Phil. I like talking about politics. And in this video, do you know what? I'm just going to do a bit of detective work. So Mike Graham, bit of a shock jock, right-wing shock jock, right? He, on his Facebook, a statement was posted. It went down like a lead balloon. It was not a popular statement. Bit too far, bit too far. Now, he has said he got hacked. Right? Now, I've looked at the post. I'm going to show you in a minute. I could absolutely believe he was hacked. It's a bit extraordinary that an experienced broadcaster, even someone who might or might not believe or share the sentiments of the statement, someone who's been in broadcasting for a while, they usually know where the lines are. And even if they personally believe something fairly shocking, they sort of know what level of shock they can get away with. That's how they've stayed as a broadcaster for so long. But some people found a few interesting things. So shall we examine it in ourselves and play court of public opinion? Play Sherlock Holmes. But first, for daily news and politics, please click the subscribe button to stay notified. So Mike Graham, I always get him mixed up with the other one. I don't think this is the concrete farmer, someone who knows him more. Mike Graham's the one who does stuff on Talk TV, which is like Murdoch's attempt at GB News. It's not doing very well, but, you know, he's doing very well as far as I know. So he is, as I say, a right-wing shock jock. He's basically an outrage. He might not be a concrete farmer, but he is an outrage farmer. Now, the thing about outrage farmers is they get their clicks, and it's very effective, with shock. They need shock value. They need people to click on it. And the thing is, and this is how it works so well, they need to post things so shocking that it doesn't just get engagement from the people who agree with it. It's like, oh, he's saying the things we're not allowed to say. But he wants people who very strongly disagree with it, so strongly disagree with it, they want to click on it to remonstrate with him. This is appalling. This is disgraceful. You should be ashamed of yourself, sir. Right? That's how it works. That's, you get double the clicks, right? Double the clicks. You're not just farming the people who agree with you and you're saying the things they wish they could say. You're also getting the people who really want to remonstrate with you, the people who think it's disgraceful that you would say that, right? Double bubble, right? But how does it work? I mean, how, by definition, if you're saying things that the people who agree with it will go, I wish I could say that. Well, therefore, you're saying something that is crossing a boundary, right? It's crossing a border. So people like that will occasionally, it happens all the time. You know, Logan Paul, really famous example of it, but people like that will occasionally overstep the mark, right? They think they know where the line is, but they need to keep pushing it. They need to keep pushing the envelope. And sometimes they go a little bit far, right? They have to be edgy. And sometimes they're so edgy, they cut themselves on their own edge. So is that what happened with Mike Graham? Or, as he insists, was he hacked? Well, let's have a look at the Exhibit A, which is his initial tweet. Get rid of that. There we go. So Mike Graham tweets this. This was yesterday. On Sunday night, my Facebook was accessed and a vile message was posted on my page without my knowledge. It contained words that I would never write and an opinion I don't share. I'll come to that in a moment. As soon as I found out, I immediately deleted the post and have taken steps to ensure my cybersecurity is enhanced. Obviously, I am mortified that such a post could have gone out in my name and am now attempting to find out how it could have happened. I am equally very sorry for any distress it's caused anyone. So before I show you, it all seems perfectly reasonable to me. Again, when I show it in a minute, you can absolutely believe he was hacked by someone who doesn't like him very much and wanted to drop him in the shit, right? But a couple of things here. First, well, we'll come to it in a minute, actually, but I'm just going to remind people of that thing there. It says, when it contained words that I would never write and an opinion I don't share. Now, the opinion I don't share, a broadcaster, we don't really know what their personal opinions are. Their own friends and close associates will, because they'll be a bit more unguarded. A professional broadcaster, someone who's got some nous and is aware of the need to present a certain image, you'll never really know what they think. If you don't know them, you don't really know them. You know what I mean? Lots of people think they know celebrities that they follow a lot. You don't know them, right? So in terms of the opinion, we don't know one way or the other. For all we know, some of the things he openly advocates, some of the opinions he comes out with, he doesn't share himself. He's doing it because what? He's an outrage farmer. It's very lucrative for him. So maybe he believes half the bollocks he comes out with and maybe he doesn't. We don't know. But in terms of words that I would never write. Someone took exception to that, but we'll come to it. So let's look at the offending statement on Facebook. So what you've got here, before we come to the words, you've got two pictures. On the left is a picture of Winston Churchill's arse, right? I'm not judging, Mike. I'm not judging. If that's your thing, that's your thing, right? On the right is a load of people on the tube. We can't see any of their arses. Maybe he's objecting to the fact there's no arses on display in the tube, right? I don't know. But if we look at the text above it, it says, compare and contrast. Well, I just have done. One is a picture of an arse. And actually, even the people in the background there, they've got their arses pointing to the camera. So maybe he's got a thing for arses. He obviously doesn't like the picture on the right where there's no arses on display, just faces. Right? That's his thing. He likes arses and not faces. That's the compare and contrast. But there's more information added. Tell me we're not effed by multicultural bollocks. Oh, that's his problem. Why are we surrounded by non-white people? Oh, that's a bit on the nose, isn't it? Just F off ... So, yeah, absolutely shocking. Do I believe he was hacked? If I don't follow him much, I don't really know a lot. Based on the evidence we've presented so far, I'm going to go, yeah, he was absolutely hacked, right? You know, I mean, he's famous. And because he's an outrage farmer, he attracts a large audience of people who agree with him and a large audience of people who really don't agree with him. So is it reasonable to suppose that one of that large audience of people who follow him just to remonstrate with him might also have the skills and spend the time to hack him? Yeah, of course, right? Absolutely, absolutely. But then there's this. So Henry Morris, who used to be known as the secret Tory, he's not a Tory, just to be clear, said, mad that you posted the same picture on Twitter moments beforehand, some hacker. Now, this is what's important. I can't verify this because although you've got the time on the Twitter, I haven't got it on the screenshot of the Facebook post, right? But, assuming Henry Morris is being absolutely accurate here, and that, because that picture's the same, by the way, it's not just another picture of Winston Churchill's arse, it's the same picture of Winston Churchill's arse, right? It's the same statue of Winston Churchill in Parliament Square on a rainy London day with exactly the same people in the background with their arses pointing to him as well, because, you know, he likes arses is what I'm getting out of this. Whether we're talking about Mike Graham or Mike Graham's hacker, they've got a thing about arses is what I'm picking up here. But if it's literally moments before, I have a couple of questions. First of all, the same question that Mr. Morris has. Isn't it a coincidence that the hacker used the exact same photo? Because here's the thing. If someone's going to hack into your account, they're spending time doing it. They don't just look at Mike Graham and go, oh, I don't like you. And, oh, I'm going to hack into your account. I mean, I don't know the process myself. I'm not tech savvy, right? But I imagine it's fairly involved. I imagine it takes, you have to do it well. You have to, it's premeditated. You have to do it well in advance. It'll take some time. I don't know how it's done. So you've already got something in mind. You've already got the post in mind that when you get into their account, you're going to put up there, because you don't know how long you can stay in their account, do you? So presumably you've got it ready to go. Yeah. So isn't it a coincidence that you post the exact same photo that Mike Graham, who's not claiming he was hacked on Twitter, posted on Twitter literally moments before? Then here's my second question. If someone's posting stuff on social media and they are active on multiple social media accounts, don't they tend to have them open at the same time in tabs on their window? So if you're going to post something on Twitter, you're going to post something on Facebook. It doesn't matter. It's not exactly the same thing. You know, they're probably both open at the same time, as along with Instagram and anything else you might be using, right? So that's unusual, isn't it? Are we to suggest he was in Twitter but not Facebook at the same time when he uses both? Not definitive. I'm not saying, oh, I don't think he was hacked. But to me, it sounds a little bit strange. A little bit strange. But then we have another one. Exhibit D, I guess. So someone says this. The hacker also did Mike's characteristic F off ... Extraordinary. And they put, by way of example, a tweet of Mike Graham saying exactly that. And then you think, so that's his phraseology as well then, isn't it? Now, again, okay, I can absolutely accept that a hacker probably knows him. They probably know him. So they'll know what sort of language you use, and it makes absolute sense. If you want to drop someone famous in the shit by hacking them and putting out a really obnoxious post that's going to get them into trouble, you would, of course, mimic the sort of language they use. But then it comes back to his original denial. Oops, I keep putting that one up. That it contained words that I would never write. Well, according to people that follow him, he writes those words all the time, right? He writes those words all the time. Again, we look at this. So again, I mean, what words is he talking about there? Compare and contrast. Is he saying he doesn't use those words? I bet he does, right? Tell me we're not effed by multicultural bollocks. Is he saying that he never uses those words? I mean, he does. I've seen him rail against multiculturalism. So I don't think he can say, just because that specific collection of words hasn't been used. The sentiment, I am going to say he has used that sentiment. Now, the next bit is the one that's, why are we surrounded by non-white people? Okay, I can believe he would never say that. Whether he believes it or not, whether he's offended by it or not, I can believe it's not the sort of thing he's going to be silly enough to say. But again, there's no, what are the words? What is it about the words? Like, I might say, why are we surrounded by idiots? It's the same words. It's the same sort of phraseology. And as we know, the last three words and the punctuation, he does use. That is his thing. That's almost like his catchphrase, which is easily mimicked. Of course it is. Easily mimicked by a hacker. But it's just strange that he says that these are not the sort of words he was used when it's like, yeah, they are. And because that's what you mean when you say, oh, if someone hacks you, it's like, and it's like, oh, it's not even the way I talk. Well, it's like, well, no, this is, you might never say that. You may never complain about being surrounded by people who aren't white. But the word, it's not like, but if I did, what you're saying is, but if I did say that, those aren't the words I would use. And well, no, these are totally the words he would use, as someone has demonstrated. And again, as I say, this is remarkable. If true, this for me is remarkable. The same photo, because I don't know the process, but I think someone hacks your account. That's something they've done well in advance, right? Planning it, getting it ready. And they probably cannot bank on there being very long for them to post something before, because like, if you're logged in at the same time as them, because that's the other thing I keep saying, if you're logged into Twitter and you use Facebook as well, surely you'd be logged into Facebook at the same time. So, didn't something come up that you were logged out or something? Did you get some sort of warning? Why was it the next day that he spotted it? Isn't it possible that he did post it? It went down like a lead balloon, like a bucket of coal sick. And then he thought, oh, I've gone a bit too far here. Because outrage farmers do that all the time. They just go a little bit too far in trying to farm their outrage. They just go a little bit beyond the line. And they go, oh, no, I've got to get out of this one. I'm 50-50 on it now. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching. And until next time, I'll see you later.